Hey there, Virgo. I hope you guys are doing really well. Thank you so much for your patience. I really do appreciate you. I want to go ahead and get into a reading for you for the rest of February 2024. Um, I do want to say before we get into this, I am doing a special right now as far as personal readings go. I am offering $30 for one question and $15 for each additional question. I'm also offering personal reading, a personal one-on-one reading with me for $100. All of these readings will be recorded for you, and I will be using PayPal and Cash App. And so if that is of interest to you, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and contact me at thealtruisticmystic@gmail.com. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this reading, Virgo. For your general energy, this is a general energy reading for the rest of this month, okay? We have the Eight of Pentacles here. Now, this is good. You know, it does talk about steadfast energy. It talks about I guess I want to say some of you maybe I'm hearing high standards, very high standards, which is not bad at all, especially when it comes to what you contribute to your job, your life, the things that you value and put your energy into. We must have high standards. You know, this is about dedication as well. But here, your what is it called? Oracle energy is forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Um, for some of you, you may be dealing with situations where like standards are a thing, like your own personal standards are being either inflamed, or we need to readdress what they actually mean, because what rigidity lends to them is very little movement throughout, or very little change. Okay, so I want to pop that there, and then we will continue on. All right, so your approach this month, like your action, is the Knight of Swords here. So the Knight of Swords is an interesting one just because it does talk about changes happening, big changes happening. It also talks about communication. Sometimes we might feel very impatient in regard to how we're moving forward in something. But if you can be slow and intentional about what you're moving forward towards, what you're creating, then you have a better opportunity for a good outcome. I would say being forceful is probably not the best way to do it, because this can talk about a lot of force, a lot of this like very in your face type of energy. We don't want that necessarily, unless you feel that it's important. I mean, here I'm kind of getting an opposite energy though, just because here it's like we're taking our time and doing what we need to do well. So are we rushing into something, or, you know, I don't feel that that's the best way to go. Either way though, this does talk about change. It talks about opportunities being presented for you to take a hold of and grab on tight and make it the best you can, okay? In regard to your communications with other people, you have the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is a really nice energy. It's Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus energy, but this one talks more about like, it's slow. It's the beginnings of something. It's messaging with a person with intention to continue on in a connection. You know, it's consistent communication. Sometimes it's goal-oriented energy, especially with that Eight of Pentacles here. As far as communications in your life right now with others, you may have a communication of forgiveness here. Usually the Page of Cups will pop up when we have like an apology or an olive branch, but this can also talk about that too, where it's like we're extending an offer to help the situation grow. Pentacles are all about growth here. For some of you, this is also a situation where you may be in school, or you may be choosing to go to school. You may be communicating that to somebody. I don't know if that is a necessity, or I don't know if forgiveness is popping up in there. I do know that, like, let's say certain families all around the world, the parents choose the career that their child is going to go into, and like, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be da 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 da, and then it's like we have this realization, but I want to be an art student. I want to learn how to I don't know, like grow bananas somewhere else in the world. Like, I want this specific thing in my life. And here it's like we have to have a very, maybe that's a forceful conversation for you guys. Maybe we have to deal with some level of being chained to some energy, forgiving ourselves for wanting to move away from that, being forgiven by people who have kind of imposed their will upon us. It's pulling yourself back so you can really do what you need to do. But as far as communication is concerned, whatever is being spoken about here, it's for the long haul. It's for the beginnings of something to grow and expand with patience and with intention. As far as your health is concerned here, Virgo, the Five of Wands can be... they can talk about maybe you've been struggling with a situation or a health concern in your life for a while. This could be any of your physical systems, skin, organ, vision, however you want to look at it, or whatever may be, prevalent here. But what it indicates here, Virgo, is that you're continuing to fight it. You're continuing to put your energy into it to fight it for a different outcome. And this is a good indication because upright, it's talking about you're almost there. You're almost over that hurdle. It may have taken you a while, but you're almost there. Don't give up, don't give up. Try to reduce the stress in your life. Try to reduce the conflicting energies in your life so you can have more of a peaceful energy inside of yourself. Some of you may be needing to forgive yourself for that. I know sometimes we allow ourselves to be spread out so thin that we don't even have time for ourselves, or we're not even available for ourselves. Here it's asking us to be a little bit stingy with that time and pull back here. You may have to forgive yourself about that. Either way, though, it's for your own benefit. It's for your own health. And I think that in the long run, you will probably be very happy with the outcome just because it feels like, whew, that's finally done. I'm finally over that. I'm finally over that hurdle. Okay, that's what we have for you in health. As far as your finances are concerned, the sun, it's Leo energy. The sun is about it's awakening, it's illumination to things. As far as like money is concerned, this may be a situation where you are either coming into a bit of money, a little bit of an inheritance. You're being rewarded for how good your production has been, how good you have been, functioning in a job situation, what you've brought to situations, what, maybe your team or your boss wasn't able to see something a certain way, and your thinking, your ideas, and your planning have kind of streamlined things where you kind of flip it around and you give a completely different opportunity for things to happen, and it works seamlessly. There's a streamlining energy here for this month where it's like we're really needing to focus. Why did I hear we're needing to focus our identity? I do want to say identity and job, they're different. Our job is not our identity, so just make that distinction here. Okay, I'm going to step away from that message though. Streamlining your efforts, your time, your dedication, the things that are going to be putting things in alignment for you is really highlighted this month. And I think it's important for you to feel confident in how you approach things, because your ability to pay attention to detail and your effort to detail, I think, is something that is really, really sought after at this time. And I think you're going to have really good benefit with that. I also want to say, try not to feel bad if maybe you surpass somebody, or like, your position or the way that you approach things surpasses somebody else's. Maybe they were in a position above you, but your way of thinking or your approach surpasses theirs. It's kind of like this weird sticky situation possibly where it's like you may have to have some self-acceptance for that, and that person may just have to put on their big girl panties and be okay with somebody having a different way of thinking or a better idea. Okay, it doesn't mean that you're out to take their position. It just means, okay, let's maybe work together a little bit more. Let's not make it so, oppositional, I want to say. For love, you have the Three of Swords in reverse here. Now, this can be a good situation. This can talk about forgiveness and releasing a lot of pain that you've been dealing with. If you've been suffering internally, if you've been dealing with just kind of like a feeling of distraught energy all over you, this can talk about it lifting. So if you are in a current partnership, there's an element here where things that may have been needed to work on that have not been worked on, now we're addressing it here. It's the conflict is diminishing because we have communication that is clear and intentional, and the action is presented with it. Okay, forgiveness is granted, forgiveness is given here. I feel like that is important here, and both parties can move forward working intentionally on the situation so you can have a better outcome. For those of you who are single, this can talk a lot about you letting go of things that have been kind of ruling your internal world, dwelling on past hurts, past problems with partners, maybe almost in a way associating yourself with problematic people. Why do I always get these types of people? How come it always ends this way? Where's the lesson in that? It doesn't mean that you're bad. Maybe it's you're attracting wounded people that attract your wounds and they trigger. So where is that wounding? What is the attachment to people who say can't be there, or people who mistreat you, or people who don't value you or see you as a full person? Here with the Three of Swords, I think you're letting that go. I think you're letting that go, and I think you're allowing things to release. For those of you who are in situations like, say, if you have somebody from your past here, there's forgiveness, there's communication about opening situations for a new beginning to arise, a new beginning to be had. With the the Five of Wands here, it's almost as if this is kind of the center point in this reading, like conflict. We have to forgive to move forward so we don't have conflict. We have to bring illumination to the conflict so we don't sit in it forever. Either way, I feel like you're breaking out of a chain cycle, and we forgive ourselves for remaining in it for so long, but we also must forgive others, whether we choose to move on with them or without them. So that is what I have for you, Virgo. I hope that this was helpful. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And again, if you want a personal reading, $30 for one question, $15 for each additional, and $100 for a one-on-one session with me. All of them are recorded, okay? So I love you guys. Take care.